Morning, everybody. Not so crazy lady here. I can't make saying out of crazy. Walmart Santa charged after children found buried in his yard. A man who worked as a Walmart Santa was arrested in connection with the death of his two kids who were recently discovered buried in his Georgia backyard. The remains of Elwyn Crocker Jr., a 14-year-old who vanished 2 years ago, and his sister Mary, 14, who was last seen in October, were found buried in the town of Guyton last week, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution reported. Deputies searching the home on a tip that were led to the graves by the kids' dad, Elwyn Crocker Sr., who recently worked as a Santa at a Walmart store in Rincon. His wife and the kids' stepmother, Candace Crocker, 33, this is such a coded story, and her mother, Kim Wright, 50, and Wright's boyfriend, Anthony Prater, 55, were also charged with concealing a death and child cruelty. A third child, who has special needs, was found alive in the home. Georgia kids found dead in backyard. Found buried in South Georgia. It is expected by authorities an autopsy have confirmed the identities of two children found buried in their families' backyard in Effingham County, though many questions remain about the deaths, Coroner David Exley said Monday. The cause and manner of death is still pending, he said, adding it to take weeks. The trouble, he said, is partly that Mary Crocker and Elwyn Crocker Jr. had been buried so long ago, Mary for perhaps a few months, Elwyn for maybe as long as 2 years. This is a coded story. The remains of the siblings, who were both 14 years old when they were last seen but hadn't been reported missing, were discovered Thursday in the rural town of Guyton by Effingham's Sheriff's Office. God, this is such a coded story. Deputies went to the house after a tipster called 911 to express concerns regarding the whereabouts of the girl. An interview with the father, Elwyn Crocker Sr., revealed information that sent deputies to check the backyard for the bodies. So I want to check out this. Buried so long ago. What? This is some crazy crap, man. I'm going to try it again. Shock, confusion after two kids found buried behind Georgia home. A boy vanished, then a girl. Anybody who knew chose to say nothing. What? Now authorities in Effingham County near Savannah say they believe they found the children's bodies buried in their family's backyard. Elwyn Crocker Jr. was 14 when he was last seen 2 years ago. His sister Mary was 14 when someone caught a glimpse of her this October. But the remains weren't discovered in Guyton, an old farming town of fewer than 2,000 people, until Thursday. What happened to them is unclear. Autopsies, which authorities hope will confirm the identities and causes of death, were underway Friday. Investigators have taken custody of a third child who has special needs and arrested 4 adults who live in the home, including the father and his wife, on charges of child cruelty and concealing a death. Authorities believe the bodies they found buried behind a family home in the Effingham counties of those of 14-year-old Mary Crocker and her brother Elwyn Crocker Jr., who would have been 16. Okay, so if anybody is in Georgia and knows about this, could you let me know? I've been doing this 41 years, and a while ago I almost broke down in tears. Sheriff Jimmy McDuffie told reporters, his wife shaking. It's that bad. I can't understand how you do children like this. It's horrible. Deputies went to the home Wednesday after tipster expressed concern for the whereabouts of the girl. Initially, they were told she was with her mother in South Carolina. Deputies said they interviewed Father Elwin Crocker Sr., who turned 49 on Christmas and was recently played Santa at nearby Walmart in Rincon. Investigators haven't revealed what he said, but it led them to dig up the backyard. Dude looks like a demented elf. The father, his mother, Candace Crocker, 33, and her mother, Kim Wright, 50, were arrested, as well as Wright's boyfriend, Roy Anthony Prater, 55. The charges of concealing a death and child cruelty could be upgraded as the investigation continues, the sheriff said. Neither child had ever been officially reported missing. Black-eyed demons. At one point, they were enrolled in Effingham County schools, but Mary was recently being homeschooled, authorities said. Sheriff's Office spokeswoman Gina Sullivan said deputies had only ever been called to the home for complaints about a couple of the pit bulls, but they've now been told the family was reported to the Division of Family and Children's Services. The agency declined to comment as it does not speak on particular cases. Well, isn't that handy? While investigators were on scene Thursday, McDuffie said they were met by concerned neighbors who said they thought something was wrong in the home. The sheriffs wished they would have said something sooner. If we just encouraged those folks to give us a call, he said, it would lead us to maybe not having this conclusion. Roy Anthony Prater. Neighbors said the kids seemed to stay mostly inside the home, although the girl was often outside doing yard work, according to Savannah television station WTOC. Other kids said at school they could tell stuff was wrong with their hands. They were red. That was being from out in the yard, out there most of the time working, doing stuff from the time she got off that bus until they would go in at night. Then she would go to school and kids would see her and ask what was wrong, and she wouldn't ever say anything. She wouldn't open to anybody. Investigators are still trying to make sense of the case. None of the suspects have significant criminal history, whatever that means today. The sheriff's office said detectives are hoping for help from the girl's mother in South Carolina, where she is believed to be homeless. The biggest question some of us are asking is, how did the little boy go missing for 2 years and nobody identified that? How does almost 1 million children go missing every year and nobody identifies it? Huh? Something very hinky about this case, and every fiber in my being says these do not look like the school pictures of 2016, 15, 14. These look like school pictures from the 80s, 90s, and maybe 2000s. None of this story seems right. So if there's anybody in Georgia that knows about this story, could you please provide more information? Thank you. Not so crazy lady. Out.